전투를 시작합니다.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the draft here on our third and perhaps final game of the evening.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have 1.4 finally going first and finally getting rid of Toronto.
First ban, taking her out. They've also banned her from themselves as well this way, but
yeah, it's normally we see her banned second by a lot of teams.
yeah, because it threatens.
Yeah, it's like, okay, leave us Toronto.
They're going to first pick Uther, which I think is great. It's going to give Suri the opportunity to allow their more dive-oriented compositions.
Yep, it's definitely an important fact here.
Thrall first picked by Mighty. And we're going to see Kael'thas picked up as well. So we're starting to see a bit of a trend. It's more poke versus dive for these two teams.
Yeah, I really like it. Obviously, Kael'thas is just fantastic, no matter what map, no matter where, and Thrall is a great counter to him, and obviously any melee assassin pairs pretty well with Uther.
Kael'thas has an 8-1 win rate this season. That's
Is that all?
insane.
Yeah, no, that is by far the highest that I think we've ever had.
Yeah,
so.
last season I remember we saw like Leoric's win rate was like 70 and everyone was going crazy, but this is like actually absurd.
Yeah, it's like everyone that plays Heroes or watches Heroes at all knows that Kael'thas has nerfs incoming. Yeah. So, I mean, until then, we are going to see him go very high. But, yeah, I guess Toronto just, the power she gives all game long is something that people are still valuing more so.
Well, for 1.4, they did grab Jaina. It's been something that we have been seeing them favor quite a bit. And we're going to see Diablo picked up as well. And a Kerrigan ban goes down.
This all makes a lot of sense. I mean, Diablo, he has the stuns and the flips. Uther has the stun, and Jaina has the slow. So already this is very gank heavy. This is very team fight oriented. And if you add Kerrigan in there, like Daisy's very good in Kerrigan. It's just when only Karazim's little pulse is healing her, she's not going to last long.
No. Stitch is picked up by Mighty. We see Tassadar as well coming in. An interesting choice.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
The question is, ETC and Raynor. I was going to say, the question is, are we going to see Raynor or Vala? And instead of Vala, they grab Greymane yet again as their 5th pick. Now, on this map, I feel like he's quite strong because of his cocktails. He can not only damage the Immortals, but also can damage the hero standing next to them from that explosion. So
yeah,
he's got that AoE poke at the zone.
And he can deal a lot of damage too. You let him alone on one of these Immortals, he'll deal a lot right there. Really interesting stuff. I love the ETC pickup. I should have mentioned that that's very popular in China and Korea right now. The Uther ETC combo. Just throw your Divine Shield down on ETC while he's doing his mosh pit, and it covers 3 of the 4 seconds. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. It's actually an insanely powerful move. And I gotta say, we have seen some of our most unique drafts of the tournament and even of like Korean heroes in today's matchup.
Yeah. It's been awesome. I love seeing Greymane so much. So guys, tell your friends, Greymane is all over the place today at the Super League.
That's right, guys. We're going into Game 3 right here, right now. Let's do it. On the blue side of things, it is Mighty running Tassadar on Joju, Jangman running Stitches, Kong on Kayle, Roar on Thrall again, and BDG once again on Greymane.
Very, very cool lineup. I want to talk to you about Tassadar in a second here, but first, let's introduce 1.4 over here. They have Uther, Raynor, Diablo, Jaina, and ETC. That looks like a very well-balanced lineup right there. They have so much CC, they have so much damage. Of course, Raynor's fantastic on this map, takes on those Immortals very quickly.
Well, we could talk about Tassadar if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd love to.
He's on this map so important for gaining vision. Now, notice that on this map there's a lot of line of sight blockers. He's standing in one of them right there. That's why 2 of my favorite heroes to play on this, for example, on Hero League are Tassadar and Zagara, because they both give you a lot of vision of when the enemy team is approaching and how you want to approach. You know, you don't know whether the Immortal's about to do a stun or not, where they're standing. It's really important to have that vision.
You know, another thing I do want to mention is the power of Force Wall here. There's a lot of little rocks all over the center, and Force Wall can absolutely be a game changer. You can trap someone in so easily, or even prevent them from coming in to help get that extra damage on the Immortal. So definitely a very cool pickup here by Mighty.
I guarantee we will see that used to even force members of 1.4 to be stunned, or force them into the stun circles that the Immortal will actually place.
Absolutely, yeah. Very good point. So if he's on top of those Force Walls, definitely going to be a very powerful hero in this matchup. But as of right now, we do have Mighty pushing across this map quite strongly.
All right, we're going to see Daisy actually run in and try to grab Tassadar. Probably the worst target, though. One thing I want to point out, meanwhile, though, is Thrall is in a lane versus Blessing up here on ETC, and that's never going to be a good matchup for ETC. They might want to rotate and switch that.
When you said Thrall is, I was like, he's AFK, he's just sitting there. Oh no, this happens to me all the time.
It's like someone just keeps pinging him, but he never comes back. You know that moment when they're like 5, 4, 3, and you look at that guy still in the Hall of Storms, and you just keep pinging him, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then he comes out at a minute 50, and you're like, God, I hate you.
And he's like, sorry, 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 and you're like, oh.
Well, right now we do have both sides just kind of going ham on these Immortals. Very, very close there. It does look like the blue team Mighty does more damage, but that's because ETC was actually clearing a lane there. Yeah, and also Greymane is going to do a ton of damage. You know, the longer he's on a target, his attack speed goes up like crazy, so definitely going to be something to keep in mind. Now, this is a great move when you're behind on this map to actually defend your Immortal and try to take a fight. But they are just doing poke damage like you were talking about before. This is really nicely done. Eventually they'll run low on mana, but they have a lot of poke here. I mean, this is even a lightning build on Thrall, so that has huge range as well. Yeah. And it's poke comp versus dive comp like almost every game here. Notice when you have a Jaina on your team and she's never like the focal point, it kind of lets you know how the team likes to play. Like every single game we've seen Hitman on Jaina, she's never really been the huge game changer. And that's the kind of style that, if you do a dive comp, she can do the follow-up damage. We're going to actually see a big drop here on Jongman. Like, they're putting all their damage on him. Tassadar going to shield him to try to save him, and he will barely escape, it looks like here. Yeah, he's going to be careful with that as well. But very hard to actually kill Stitches. And, more to what you were saying about Hitman and Jane and all this, I actually do want to bring up that tonight overall, hasn't the drafts and the team comps here from 1.4 just seemed slightly dated? Yeah. Like a few months old or something, where it's like, okay, this isn't bad, this is good. This is like a team I would have loved to have a few months ago, but yeah, it feels a little bit like that to me. No, I have to agree. I also feel like, especially in Game 2, Hitman's impact is severely diminished just based on the fact that this team is so far behind that he can never actually get an engage that he wants to. I'm of the impression, personally, I think Tomb of the Spider Queen is one of the best maps for Janus specifically for rotating. And we just never really see that impact come into play. The key blizzards, the Cone of Colds that they're at level 16, that they survive to get to 16, they can never use that. Well, I definitely do not want to count them out for this game, even though already we have a decent little lead for Mighty, grabbing that first Immortal and having this little experience lead, because, I mean, there's still a lot to be said when level 10 is hit. Like, ETC's Dance is one of the biggest game changers, which is why it's popular right now to pair him with Uther to make sure you get it off. Yeah. You can't miss. It's all really on the opponent's team to split against that, but you're going to get where you want to be when you have this comp, no matter what. Tassadar are going to try to drop that Silencing Storm to finish off the keep, or excuse me, fort, and I think they will just barely get that. Yeah. Looks like it. Very well done there. In the meantime, we do have the Diablo versus Thrall battle up top. Looks like we will have these Merc camps cleared pretty quickly for both sides. It's kind of like what you do. This is another map where in between Immortals, there's not always a lot to be done. Yeah. So, especially on this map, there's only 4 Merc camps, and they're very far away from each other, so all of them are risky, except the ones that are like home side, because then you can take those bruisers pretty easily. But taking something like this, see how careful they're being about this, and even using Tassadar's Oracle just to make sure. And slow rotation up from Jaina, but I think they are going to try to let this one go. At least they're not going to,
Yeah, try to take it.
They don't want to
fight.
take any chances here. Mighty doesn't. It's like, okay, yeah, you guys take this. The thing is, if they lose a team fight there, that's very bad. But here, like just backing up, they can clear this before it really matters, you know?
Yep. The Immortals are up, and Thrall is doing damage to that currently. And we do see ETC power slide in, and Tassadar gets picked off there.
Yeah, no dimensional shift coming out. That wasn't on cooldown. Like, yeah, so I'm a little bit confused, but maybe just a bit of a mistake from him as a player.
It might have also been that he was just barely stunned too long from that power slide, and he just couldn't actually use it. But very well done, actually. Good seeing blood in the water there by ETC.
Despite that pick-off, we actually have a lot more damage coming out of Mighty onto 1.4's Immortals, so...
Yeah, Thrall was just sitting on it.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Well, we do have right now 1.4 coming in and going a little bit ham here.
A little bit ham.
Yeah, and don't forget, with Raynor and ETC boosting attack speeds here overall, that deals, like, don't underestimate how much more damage you're going to get on the Immortal because of that. Yeah, it's a big difference.
It's huge. It's AoE, extra attack speed. Now, again, watch these Galean cocktails. Look at Roar, how he's playing this. He's doing a ton of poke damage. Everyone's eating that damage. Uh-oh. Some sick damage going on to Blessing here.
Nice
cleanse. And he gets hooked as well.
Oh, does power slide out of there, luckily. Really nice job there of Suri as well, keeping Blessing alive.
All right, well, it looks like both teams, this happens sometimes, where both teams are like saying, all right, I'm just going to defend. And then usually someone rotates into lane. It's actually Diablo and Greymane down there, meanwhile. And as Greymane sees Diablo is away, they're going to continue to use their poke comp here to damage that Immortal. 4,000 hit point lead nearly now on that Immortal.
Yeah, and that's a really big deal. That's hard to come back from. Like, they basically have to win a team fight to get this Immortal at this point. It looks like they are starting to move in a little bit. This is before level 10 for Mighty, so definitely a chance to get it done. And look at this, a nice micro there by Mind Pang, getting out of the way of that hook.
And a big attempt here on Daisy for grabbing Greymane, and BDG is going to get blown up here. He's the first to fall. But look at this, Mighty Roar. Excuse me, actually, it wasn't Greymane that went down. Or yeah, it was.
Yep.
I'm like getting confused. I thought Mighty Roar was playing Greymane there for a second. He's playing Thrall, playing similar skins. Throw me off.
That happens.
I'm like, am I getting old? I can't see. But yeah, so Greymane does get picked off there, and they did whittle everyone's hit points down. Everyone had to go back and fountain. But good, good reaction there by 1.4. Now the problem is, even though they got a kill there, Greymane's already back up, and 10 is up.
Yeah, and with 10 up, they are absolutely going to be able to finish this off. In fact, 1.4 knows it. They just jump back into the 2 lanes, start clearing up, realizing that they are going to need 10 before this Immortal's at their gates.
Yeah. And they are just barely going to get it.
Yeah, looks like it. Very important, though, that they do have that. Otherwise, it's going to be so hard to fight. And this is where it gets a little bit crazy. Like, if we see a really nice Uther ETC combo coming up here, the team can be wiped.
Yeah, I almost thought we were going to see it right there for a second.
Yeah, it looked a little bit scary. I don't think they quite had everyone in position. We need Hitman with his cooldowns up before they do that, because it doesn't last forever.
All right, here we go. He might attempt it. Nope, not a good enough opportunity there.
Good splitting there by Mighty. They know exactly what's up, exactly what Blessing is going for.
And it's so important that Mighty's comp has Illyrian pushing first, because they have actually so much poke damage. They can actually sit behind him safely. Oh, look at this. Roar goes down instantly here. Could this be an opportunity? Daisy's also very low.
Oh, Divine Shield does go down, and in fact, they do get the dance off. Not even with Divine Shield on him, but a lot of damage being dealt. Daisy does get taken out by Tassadar. Great Size Storm. And Kong has to retreat, but that was definitely very nicely done by 1.4.
That's the kind of fights we need to see from this team comp to actually win in the mid game here, to get ahead. They're even now, basically, but that's the kind of fight we need to see happen repeatedly at the stage of the game. I really worry if they lose this next Immortal because of the poke that's on this team. You know, the cocktails, the flame strikes, even the Size Storm. This team will clear that wave in seconds.
Yeah, this is such an important point. It's just going to be really hard for them to deal with that. And I do want to point out, by the way, with that last battle, Joju's force wall, like, I think they would have been completely wiped to a man without any losses on 1.4 if that force wall hadn't gone up, because ETC was ready to power slide in, and it blocked him out, which allowed them more time for damage. So some really good plays coming out, but some clutchness from 1.4 as well.
One of the most powerful things in any game, you know, of any esport, even like real sports, is knowing your opponent's weakness and being very respectful of that. And I think that's really what we're seeing here from Mighty, just constantly pre-splitting, using that force wall as you mentioned.
It's important stuff. Definitely, this is a game-changing type of comp that 1.4 is taking. If it goes right, they absolutely slay. If it doesn't, well, you know, there's always next week.
Sure. Loser will face TNL, by the way, a scary proposition. Oh, we're going to see Roar rotate back down. His Sundering is active, so they really actually need to be careful of lining up like that.
13 has just been reached from both teams, so we are going to see chain bombs going off. Definitely very, very important.
Yeah. Giant Killer is up for Thrall as well, which is really, really scary. All right, here we go.
All right, a lot of damage being dealt there. BDG not quite going down. It looks like he's just barely going to get there. Nice shield as well. A lot of damage on Daisy, but Divine Shield goes down. Meantime, Blessing taking some damage, but will they be able to fully disengage? Yeah, it looks like it.
BDG had Go for the Throat available. That could have been a disaster had he actually been able to stay in there, but he was not able to. That's a laughing Kale Doss. Very appropriate.
That was a great picture.
It literally said Kale, 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 Kale on it as well, which is the best part.
Oh, that's amazing. That's very close to what they type for laughs on Korean internet.
Yep. So. That's basically how I feel every time I queue up. Now, no deaths here, and everyone is kind of up. Now, keep in mind, ETC's Stage Diver, excuse me, his Mosh Pit is still available.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. Divine Shield is down, though, so with only Mosh Pit available and the fact that they're on their opponent's side, I don't think we'll see the Mosh Pit quite yet.
All right, well, a huge win already here when it comes to damage. And look at this, Daisy jumps across but is caught anyways. Down he goes. Blessing is way too far forward.
Yeah, Blessing is going to be going down for sure here.
Minipong is actually just getting blown up. Great control by BDG, switching between forms there. Suri falls, and it's an ace. And we are going to see this this Immortal Beleth taken out very quickly.
Yeah, this is going to go to them once again. Great job here by Mighty. Wow, they just turned that so quickly. Really, we did see ETC get way out of position there. Everything kind of fell apart as it got on top of the Immortal.
Well, this is a great opportunity for Mighty to get 16 and to get a keep. Basically, what 1.4 needs to do is to just simply turtle and hope for a good fight. It's going to be difficult, but that's really their best bet at this point to come back. They do have a good team fight composition. And now Divine Shield is up, Hyperion is up, you know, Apocalypse is up. So if they can chain these things together, they can actually get, you know, Apocalypse into perhaps that Mosh Pit. I think that's a great way to initiate this.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. I would love to see a move exactly like that coming up, but we've been seeing Divine Shield having to be used on Daisy quite a bit on that Diablo. So got to be careful. Here we go. The flank is incoming.
All right, here we go. There's the Apocalypse. And look at that positioning for Blessing here. Can he actually get it off? It's not going to happen, it looks like. It actually is going to go down first, and this is a huge problem.
Oh, God. Chain bombs all over. Daisy has to turn around. Once again, Divine Shield having to go on Daisy. These flanks on Diablo just not working out right now for 1.4.
And we see Cleanse even go down to stop that gravity lapse. The keep is down, but it's a 5-man push. And Illyrian having nearly full of, you know, a full health here, that Immortal is going to do so much for them. Oh no, Diablo gets caught, down he goes, and Hitman, his position is terrible here. He's actually going to get hooked, has to use his ice block.
I think he's probably going to die. Yeah, there he goes. And this is definitely going to be game Mighty just completely outplaying 1.4 in this series.
There you have it. Blessing grabs that Mosh Pit, but it does not matter.